Hi, Manong George here, and I've got a secret to tell you. I am a diabetes nurse. A diabetic nurse.
Hi, my name is Jabel, and I would just like to say that coming here to the course really helps me gain confidence to take my exam, especially practicing with the equipment and materials. It feels like I'm at the OSCE Center taking my exam.
For today's episode, what we will be discussing is my experience with diabetes. I'm not a specialist nurse in diabetes, but I am a nurse with diabetes. So basically, I have type 2 diabetes. Now, for today, I will share with you some insights on diabetes. And because I feel in our community as Filipino nurses, this is sometimes overlooked when we are here working in places like the UK. Back in circa 2012, maybe, I was doing a lot of night shifts. I did 5 days of night shifts, Monday to Friday. I'll take a day off on a Saturday. And on Sunday, I'll work long day shifts because that way I maximize my earnings. I was trying to save up for something very important, which is our wedding day. Safe to say, being somebody who is in the healthcare industry, I thought I was invincible. I thought the things that we teach our patients won't affect me. And so, what did I do? I made the healthier choice of avoiding sugary energy drinks. Chose instead a certain fizzy drink of yellow color to power myself every time I'm on shift, basically. So all my night shifts. You couple that with takeaway orders at nighttime, and to say the least, in that full year of doing all those night shifts, I was basically not taking care of myself. And lo and behold, before I knew it, I was nearly 120 kilos. Would you believe that? 120 kilos. Even at that time, I didn't even see myself as being, overweight. And it took a GP appointment when I re-registered because as a nurse, again, I am invincible. This will not affect me. And so my registration with my very first GP here in the UK actually expired. So I had to re-register. And on re-registration, then it became apparent. I had so much sugar in my urine tests. And then from that urine test, I went on to have a fasting blood sugar test and then the HbA1c. And lo and behold, I was a diabetic. Now, accepting diabetes at first was very hard for me. Couldn't believe it. I said, well, what did I do? My friend Philip, my friend Eric also eats the same food I eat. How come I get this? So there was a bit of resistance and denial at first. But eventually, the good thing about here in the UK, they would actually, the NHS would actually really clamp down on you. They offered me a lot of classes, the dietary classes, I remember that. And that was very eye-opening for me because I thought being rice eaters, that's okay. But little did I know, especially back then, that rice is carbohydrates and carbohydrates would then turn into sugar. And it's funny, I should know that because I'm a nurse, but really, I wasn't really thinking about that when I was working. All I was focusing was how much I'd earn. And I would say throughout the years, I've been diabetic for nearly 10 years now. It hasn't always been easy. My weight yo-yos. I can be. Previously, my plateau would have been on the 94 kg, 95, 96, and now I want a healthier 83 kilograms, and I'm hoping to stay on that if I can. One thing you should remember with diabetes is that I think we forget it's a personal journey. I know it's easy, especially in this day and age of social media and influencers. You find an influencer who might be into health, you want to follow their lead, but you always have to remember what might work for them might not work for you, and vice versa, you know? So I think it's all about trying to find what works for you. One thing for me, at some point, I tried going to the gym, lifting weights. That would last maximum maybe 3 or 4 months, and then I make the gym healthier because, you know, I give them all the money and I never go there. And then I also tried different types of diet. And true enough, with almost every diet, in the first 4 to 6 weeks, definitely you lose about 4 kilograms. Well, at least for me, I lost easy 4, 5, 6 kilograms. But little did I know, doing some research, it means I'm just losing water. Okay? And then that weight that you lost, the water loss you have, that's the easiest way to gain. So, the best way I found out, well, now I have a better diet, is to, well, be consistent and find something that works for you. What works for me is trying to eat correctly, trying to cut down on junk food. I wanted to just raise awareness on diabetes because I feel a lot of nurses, especially from our community in the Philippines, because we're traditionally rice eaters, and that's carbohydrate heavy. Now, unfortunately, if you live a lifestyle here in the UK, maybe it's the cold weather, maybe it's the gray skies that can be depressing you. Sometimes we can be eating a lot more of our own our own food, and then you add that with more carbohydrates like chips or fries or baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, even bread. Bread is a lot of carbohydrates. And so before you know it, our sugar levels are high and we can be diabetics as well. Well, I'm living proof of that. If you want to know more and how to prevent diabetes, because probably you're a nurse, if you're a nurse watching this, you already know what might be the symptoms of diabetes, the early signs. If you look at the NHS website and even the NHS channel in YouTube, there's a lot of prevention. There's a lot of prevention videos, information that you can use, or even to catch it up early so that you just don't progress to becoming pre-diabetic or diabetic itself. Now, for me, what helped, the NHS has helped me because, like I said, they never gave up on me. Every year, I get bloods taken, reviewed, and there's always that knock on my head to remind me, hey, George, you're not on a seafood diet, meaning I see food, I eat them. Okay? Then in 2014, as a newly diagnosed diabetic, I also qualified for free medications from the NHS. So this is one thing that you might want to look into. To be honest, I'm not too sure if everybody is qualified for that, but you have to look into availabilities. But it's one that is really helpful financially because, so if you have diabetes, of course, especially type 2, you will have medications. But as you progress to become a diabetic, certain side effects of diabetes might pop up and you would expect to have more medications. One thing that certainly helped me in my journey here as a diabetic is that I was able to avail of an exemption card. So this exemption card allows me as a diabetic to have free medication. So I don't have to pay for the prescription card. To be honest, I'm not too sure if that's still available in the market, but if you can find similar schemes, then that would be very helpful if you are a diabetic. If you have any starting symptoms of diabetes and if you're not so sure, then why not call your GP and just try to ask, if you can have some tests to help you determine whether or not really you have diabetes. Diabetes can affect anybody at any age group, and especially for us nurses who work in a highly dynamic, highly impactful profession, sometimes we may forget to take care of ourselves. So please avoid my own mistake before, wherein I just focused on the job and forgot about myself, and get yourself checked. Always remember, Manong knows.
Manong knows best. rest when staying in the United Kingdom. Manong knows best.